Welcome to the Big Biz Show. Taking care of business. You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
Well, howdy, neighbor. Welcome to the Big Biz Show. Let's see, we're live. Yeah, Loft 100, Southern California. Sully and Mary aren't here right now. They'll be here soon. I don't know where they are. I really didn't know I was going to be in this position. I was just cleaning my glasses, and then I heard Costa. Hope everybody's well. Day Trader Quattro is here. Love you guys. You're the best.
Hey, big old howdy to you.
Big old howdy to you as well. What do you say we start off this shebang with our Big Biz Show market analyst, of course, the great Howie Font. He joins us every week. We talk about business and the markets and stuff like that. Howie, how you doing, bud?
Oh, Mr. Rogers, how are you?
I'm doing quite fine, friend. Appreciate it. What's up? Is Congress doing fine? What's going on? Are we gonna have a government shutdown? Is it looming again?
They're not doing as well as you, I don't think. I don't know about you, but the reason we're talking about this today is because I find it weird that we go on. I don't think anybody else does this in their life. You've got the most important event of their business life in the year, closing the fiscal window or your biggest sale or your accounting. Every business is different, right? Yeah. I mean, if you own a restaurant, maybe it's, a Mexican restaurant, maybe it's Cinco de Mayo or something like that. Well, Congress's job is to, have a government. And their fiscal window, their fiscal year ends at the end of September. So they plan their month-long vacation for August every year. It's kind of bizarre to me.
It's so bizarre. And it's like, okay, hey, Congress, before you go on your month-long vacation, maybe can you make sure all these financial ducks are in a row so when you get back, it's not hair on fire, oh my God, the government's going to shut down, our country's going to disintegrate, which it never does. They always fund it one way or another, but they never seem to. You think that this always happens because one side is trying to use it to score political points to make the other side look bad?
Oh, that's 100% what it is. Okay. I mean, they want the firestorm, they want the debate, they want to throw egg on the other person's face. It's just, why does it have to be this way? Is kind of my whole message for today. And
sure,
we're not there yet as far as the news cycle. I wanted to get a little bit ahead of it to show the audience that we are thinking about these things and we are fairly prescient about it.
Right.
We at least try to be. But watch 2 weeks. The headlines over Fair and Balanced and Basic Cable are gonna say Congressional showdown. Whoa, what's going to happen? The whole world, like you said, is on fire, but it never actually happens. It's just a bad way to do things.
It really
is. It's politically optimal, but it's not good.
Yeah. Hey, in the minute that we have left, if you can, just touch lightly on what is it? Is it called the new Apple? Is it called this? What do they call the Apple thing that drops every year with all the new technology?
They have a different name for the iPhone event every year. This year the tag is awe dropping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They do this thing WWCC earlier in the year, but that's the same name. But this is just the new iPhone event, and basically instead of getting iPhone Pluses, they're using the Max branding that they have for the laptops.
Yeah.
Looks like there's going to be mostly a software year kind of thing. Some new stuff for the Apple Watches and price increases.
So just to make us toss our phones, toss our iPads and stuff, and run to the Apple store and get something new. Because we're going to feel left out that we don't have the technology.
That's right.
Howie's all appreciated, brother. Always appreciated. Thank you. Our Big Biz Show market analyst, Howie Font. All right, a lot more to come on today's show. I promise the other two will be back. Loft 100 Studios, the Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks if we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer@sullyantgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
I like it.
Hey, is that a rescue plane?
In over 175 countries and all the ships at sea on the American Forces Radio Network, Big Biz Show rolls on. We're live inside the Loft 100 studio, sunny Southern California. That is the Day Trader Quattro. And back here, it is just me, Costa. And my master plan has finally come to fruition. The show, the studio, the band are mine. Hope everybody is having a good day. As always, we appreciate you being along for the ride. The truth is, Sully and Mary Burt Godwin were out burning the candle at both ends last night and howling at the moon, and they will be here shortly. Not me. I got my rest because I'm a responsible individual, and I know that the show always comes first. Ben knows this too, and that's why I'm sitting here behind the bar. James, isn't that correct? I was here, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to go.
And early.
Yeah, just like you guys all the time. Yeah, we get it. Sully, Mary Burt Godwin, not so much. Joining us right now, he is one of our favorite guests. He is a massively sought-after keynote speaker. He's also the author of The Naked Entrepreneur, A Millionaire's Journey from Fear to True Wealth. And we are joined once again by the great Troy Hazard. Troy, my apologies that Sully and Mary are quitters. Not me, though. You got me, pal. How are you?
That's great, mate. What are we going to do for 10 minutes? I mean, seriously.
We're gonna bang this thing out. We're gonna give the people what they want. That's information and new ideas to think about how you start a company. You mentioned in some of the notes we got today, you're forming the board for a new company you're joining. And I gotta assume it's a lot like when somebody becomes a new coach of a team, you want people around you, A, that you can trust, but B, are also going to push back on ideas and not just be yes men and women. Is that the case with you in the new company?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a bit of a different hire. It's not like hiring someone for a job because they're turning 40 hours a week or more.
Right.
You're a sprinter. You come into a room, you sprint for a couple of hours, and then you retreat to maybe come back a month later or whatever, working on a project. But you come back to these meetings 4 or 5 times a year as a sprinter. So you've got to know that these individuals are going to be effective in a very, very short period of time and be able to pick up where they left off really quickly and get into the groove, add value to that position.
Is that what you mean by surround yourself with smarts?
Well, it is, yeah. I mean, one of my early business mentors said, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And it's stuck with me for 35 years now, to the extent that I've had the same advisory board, my own personal advisory board, for 30 years. And every quarter we get together, we catch up, I throw a bunch of ideas at them, a few projects I'm working on. We share stories that we're working on in our own little world and help each other.
TroyHazard.com is the website. Again, go check him out. As I said, a much sought after keynote speaker around this here world. Troy, explain to us what S.W.A.T means as it pertains to us, our individual self.
Well, I gave a bit of a spin on this, and I picked this up over the years from a few of the businesses I've worked with. It's about skill, will, ability, and timing. So it's not quite an S-W-A-T, it's an S-W-A-T. And that's about me. Do I have the skill? And if I don't have the skill, I need to bring it into my board to help me fill the gap that I know I have, because I'm just not very good at that. Do I have the will? Do I actually want to do that role or that function in the business, or do I want to get it off my desk and give it to somebody else so I haven't got to think about it again? Do I have the ability? Do I physically have the time to carry out these extra roles in the business? Or should I make more time for myself by giving that particular activity, that role, that responsibility to somebody else? And then the last piece is, do I really feel like, this is the right timing in the business for me to diving into that or giving it to somebody else?
What out of the four, the S, the W, A, or the T, what perhaps is the hardest for a person to, I guess, come to realize, or actually, have that personal come to Jesus meeting with themselves and maybe learn a hard truth about themselves?
There's a lot of introspection that sits behind this, and I'm pretty good at that. I do an annual review of myself and what we want to do next year, as I've talked to you guys about on a number of occasions. But as part of that process, it's having to look at myself and realizing that I am interested, I'm engaged, I'm excited, and I can actually carry that particular role out, or I need to find somebody else to do it. So hand on your heart, are you really good at it, or you just think you are because you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to be good at everything? And that changes over the years too. I mean, if I look back 25 years ago, I had a real desire to be hands-on in the marketing of a business. Now, I'd prefer to watch that from the sidelines and maybe throw some creative ideas in, but not actually manage the function, because it's not of interest to me anymore. I've been doing it for a very, very long time, and I'd like a new adventure, something new to get my teeth into. And so this is not a one and done. It's an every year sit down and work out where you are personally in life and what value you can create in that business, hand on your heart, more than anybody else can if you brought them in to help you.
Troy Hazard is also the author of Future Proofing Your Business. Troy, as my parents get older, there's a lot of paralysis by analysis, and it's kind of the stuck in molasses trying to make a decision on things that I can just, obviously, because I'm younger, I can make a decision on. But as far as CEOs and the head of companies and men and women who are making big time decisions, do you look for somebody who snap, boom, make the decision, or do you want that, let me get back to you on it, let me kind of digest it and dissect it and really make the smart decision?
Yeah, it depends on the issue that you're dealing with, I think.
True.
Some things
Exactly.
are complex. It's really, we're dealing with an issue in Australia at the moment. It's quite complex. I need my guys to go away and consider it and then come back to me with what their feedback is, because if they did it on the fly, we'd likely make the wrong decision. But what I want to find out is how they work with others. And so if I'm recruiting for board positions, I'm looking to see what they've done with other founders, other CEOs in other businesses, and how they can adjust the way they do business to suit that business. Because there's no value in bringing somebody in that wants to turn the place upside down.
Yeah.
You want them to challenge things, but you want them to fit your culture, to your vision, to your values, and to the cadence you've got in the business that suits you and suits your senior leadership team. If they can't do that, then they'll either need to adjust, or they're probably not a fit for you.
Do you want people around you that are kind of willing to roll up their sleeves and get dirty? And I hate to use the words little people, but the ones that, the backbone of a company are willing to go and talk with them and find out about them? Or do you want people to kind of sit back and stay in their lane and let those people do their jobs?
I've got a fairly particular view about this, and I believe that board members are great coaches.
Okay.
They should be inspiring thought. They should be engaging senior leadership for projects, but they should never really be offering instruction. It's not their job to offer instruction. That's the job of the CEO, COO, or the leadership team to be managing those that they're looking after in their patch. My job is to just give them something to think about. And if they want to dive into it deeper, I'm happy to elaborate on a particular issue, but it's never my job to offer instructions. That said, I'm quite happy to work on any projects in the business with leadership in a coaching manner or in a manner where I can bring some experience to the table and let them make their decisions for themselves. But at the end of the day, what we shouldn't think is a board member's job is to come in, sit down for 4 hours and head home. Give them something to do that they can get their teeth into, because if they've got a skill set, then it's likely they can improve the skills of someone in senior leadership with that skill so that they can take them to the next level.
See, that's my problem. If I was on your board of directors, I'd walk in, the first thing I'd say is, "Troy, where's the donuts?" And then I'd put my feet up on the big desk or the big table in our boardroom, and I'd fall back asleep. But it's the reason I'm doing this job, and I'm not hooked up with you. Troy Hazard, TroyHazard.com, again, one of the most sought after keynote speakers in our little marble we call the earth. Troy, is always appreciated, my friend. We'll have you back on very soon. All right, keep it here. Much more to come with the Big Biz Show right after this. Continues. We are inside the Loft 100 studios in Southern California, as always. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, we appreciate you being along for the ride. That is the uber-talented Dave Trader Quattro. And back here at the bar, it's Costa and it's Sully.
There we go.
Did we ever find out where Mary Bird Godwin is?
Yeah, last time we saw her, she was backstage at the Warped Tour.
Again.
Watching Tiffany. See her play? We're brought to you by Prudential. Let Prudential be your rock for retirement. Also brought to you by Bayer Advance. Better science, better results. Starbucks coffee. And let's not forget our good friends at Bloomin' Brands and their fine family of restaurants. Carrabba's Italian Grill, Outback Steakhouse. And Taylor Guitars. Oof. Look at that. I'm drinking one now.
Pop me a Taylor. What are you fighting there, Chico?
Chris Castillo, our producer, came in sick last week.
See, that's a major no-no in this world.
Oh, that'd be fine. I don't want to bother anybody. I'll just come to work.
At least she walks up, she goes, "Hey, Sully, how are you?"
No, she was very good. I don't think I caught it from her.
Okay.
I think I caught it from you. Hey, what do we got?
This is awesome.
I remember.
Yep.
AudioEye.
Matt Fisch is the CEO of AEye, AEye. Their ticker symbol is LIDR.
This is the LiDAR guy.
It is the LiDAR guy, and we're so happy to have Mr. Fisch back with us on the show. Matt, as always, thank you for joining us. Welcome back to the Big Biz Show, sir.
Wow, great to be back. I think it's been a couple of years. So
yeah, well,
too long.
Quite a few things have happened. Yeah.
Well, we needed to, there was that incident, you and I traveling, talking about LiDAR, and we ran into something, so we figured we should take, totally kidding. Hey, for the folks that don't recall what you folks do, and now that we have literally AI involved, at a much higher level. Let's talk about what you guys do. Give us an overview once again. Let's talk about the industry.
All right. Well, great. We don't have LiDAR Jones here today, but I'm happy to do a brief fill-in. I think the best way to look at what AI does, it's that supercharged vision, if you will. We give vision to that artificial intelligence, and that's the link essentially between artificial intelligence and the physical world. And that link allows the artificial intelligence to, influence machines, robots, other things, saves lives, improves safety, greatly improves automation at factories, so on and so forth. But again, it's that supercharged vision that connects artificial intelligence to the real world.
Talk about real applications. So just for our viewers and our listeners across the world, across the country, when you're talking about this type of technology, we're probably already using it in some way, shape, or form, correct?
Yeah, that's right. In many cases, you may not know it, but there are supercharged vision or LiDAR units that sit on top of traffic intersections and help change traffic signals to avoid a collision between a vehicle that may be running a red light or preventing a collision with a pedestrian. One of the things that we talk about a lot in terms of LiDAR and the supercharged vision is giving autonomy to vehicles, so you can take your hands off the wheel, for example, and it's been linked quite commonly with autonomous driving, and also just improving safety. We can see very far down the road, we can see in bad weather, we can see in the dark, and thus improving the ability for the vehicle to react or intervene in a dangerous situation when the conditions outside may not be so good.
Matt, as AI improves, I mean, we're all at the point now where we're looking at something on our phones or on a social media website, and it's like, okay, is this real or is this AI? As AI improves, though, is it making your job a lot easier? I mean, are you able to do things in a much more efficient, faster manner?
Well, look, I think the challenge with bringing AI to the market in a way that continues to influence our lives positively requires a lot of software. And for example, one of the things we've done, we announced a couple of months back a new partnership with NVIDIA. And NVIDIA is absolutely amazing when it comes to bringing the software piece. That's the glue, if you will, that glues the physical reality into the machine and the virtual world. And so NVIDIA's entrance into the market with their Drive platform, their Jensen platform, which we have been integrated to and tested on and validated in the last couple of months, totally supercharges our ability to increase our outreach, touch a broader set of users and customers potentially. So absolutely like to recognize a company like NVIDIA for making our lives easier and more broad reaching, for example.
So talk about the industry as a whole. Where are we focusing at this point? Obviously, this is the market adoption rate has exploded here. How has that changed your guys' plans, and what's going to happen here, short term, long term?
Right. So look, if you look at autonomous driving, for example, it's really caught fire in China. China's leading the market, if you will, globally in terms of adoption of lidar and autonomous driving. It's been a catalyst for us. As we mentioned, I think a couple years back, we do have a partnership in China that allows us to reach into the hottest market for lidar. So autonomy is really catching fire, led globally by China. And of course, we're doing work here in the States and in Europe as well. But one of the things that has really accelerated quite a bit since we last spoke is what we call just physical AI in general. I mentioned the example about putting intelligence plus supercharged vision at traffic intersections, factory automation. We're helping to prevent accidents in the rail world so we can see very, very far. A train takes a lot of time to stop. Security. Data centers are very popular. For example, they're all over the place, helping to protect data centers, which is a lot of capital in those things. See in the dark, see intruders coming in, and also airport safety, looking for objects on the runway. It's really this physical AI is gone viral, and it's produced a huge amount of demand for our supercharged vision, so it's called.
Hey, Matt, talk about, financially, you guys are as stable as can be in comparison to a couple of years back. Talk about some strategic partnerships, talk about strategic investments, talk about, capital formation and where you guys are standing right now, because it looks like you're pretty solid at this point.
Well, we introduced a new product beginning of this year at the Consumer Electronics Show. It's called Apollo. And it's about a little bit larger than a cell phone. It's very small. And it also has capabilities. With Apollo, we can see 1 kilometer down the road in the dark. And that really, the market really appreciated the relevance of that. And that's allowed us to really bring the capital into the company that we need to be stable financially. This is also, customers look at this at financial stability. And it's really allowed us to just focus on getting the product, this product Apollo, out into the market. It's, one less big thing to worry about. And we're just focused on going to market. We still have that same low capital or capital light model that we talked about last time. So our investors love the fact that we're not burning a lot of cash to produce a lot of product right now.
Let's talk about your press release a couple days ago. FlashEye, that's a pretty big one. Another revenue funnel, it looks like.
Right. So look, in order to connect, as we talked about at the beginning, to connect this supercharged vision to the real world, you need software. And one of the brilliant things that our partner FlashEye is doing here is allowing us to, create all that software glue. I think it's super important to generate scale for our business. And they do amazing things like figure out, okay, is that a person over there? Is it an animal? Is it an intruder? And putting that, we call that perception AI, and narrow that glue between the supercharged vision and the decision making that happens in the machine to actually make decisions and save lives, improve safety and whatnot. Great partner.
of AEye, their ticker symbol LIDR, website aeye.ai. Matt, do not be a stranger. We want you back on the show in a more normal rotation to find out more about all the great stuff you are doing there with AEye. Loft 100 Studios, the Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks. If we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyentgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at SEC.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
I like it.
Hey, is that a rescue plane?
Big Biz Show continues. In over 175 countries, all the ships at sea. As always, we say thank you to the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces for what they do for us every day. That is the Day Trader Quattro. They play for us every day in studio. Back here at the bar, it is Costa, it is Sully, and it's Dan Negroni. And it is one of our favorite guests of all time, Dan, the new grandfather, Dan Negroni.
Yes. We don't get to talk enough about you at school because you're a professor.
I am a professor.
So I'm trying to harken back to college, and you always think in terms of, okay, I was 21, everybody's 21. That's not the case, though, these days.
I just saw this weekend. It has nothing to do with Dan, but I thought it was funny. A gentleman who's in his 70s is a freshman at LSU, and the only reason he's a freshman is because he wanted to be part of the drum line for football games. So he enrolled, he got accepted, and he went out for the band, and he made the marching band at LSU.
That's so great.
But that's like such a cool story.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
What are you seeing? What are you seeing with our youth these days?
Well, the funny thing is, one quick thing. I had a woman that was 63. She was VP of marketing for a very large company for years and years and years, and just felt less than because she never got her college degree. Oh. And so she was a senior last year in my strategy management class, and it was like I felt like, oh my God, at least someone understands. Right? Like someone in this room gets how frustrated I am when I'm trying to teach something at this age.
Did she come in with you asked for an assignment, she's got a notebook and then she's got backup and an ancillary deck and everything else? Or
front row, pen ready.
Because that's just the way she did it in her job? Or?
She was super cool and super boomerish, if you will.
Okay, very good. All right.
Which was relatable to me. And the young kids are so different. And so being a professor these days is really different. And I take it super seriously. I don't want to go in there and just lecture to them. I believe my job is to make them better humans, as you can imagine, and to be better communicators and to provide more impact. And so I'm teaching business law this semester.
Oh.
Some of you know I'm an attorney, and so I'm qualified to be able to do that. However, I had to figure out what is the theme I want them to come away with.
Yeah.
And so what do you think that was?
Because
it's a hard, right? It's your torts, criminal law.
I'm going to say
Constitution, contracts, everything.
Negotiation.
Negotiation's part of it. Spot on almost. How to make a decision.
Sure.
Right. So how to take in information, because that's what the law is.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What's the issue? What are the rules? What's your analysis?
Sure.
And what's your conclusion? And I figured that's the best thing I learned in law school. It's called IRAC. And so I'm going to frame my whole class around teaching them how to issue spot, figure out a problem, and be able to articulate how to solve that. So every day we do that. they read the book at home, they take their tests and all that stuff, and then we come in based on that topic, and we have a speaker that speaks about that particular type of law. This week it is negotiation and dispute resolution. And then we do exercises. Like they have a sample, which is, this happened with this contract, this was the dispute, what's the issue, how are you gonna figure it out? You get in groups of 2 or you get in groups of 6, and you have to figure it out. And so so it's very practical.
Is there a caste system between the freshmen and the seniors in terms of maturity, in terms of the abilities, or is it just a classroom at this point?
So first of all, it's 125. So it's a lot.
Wow.
Like you're clapping and wanting to whistle and control, especially when you're doing assignments and they're all grouping and talking a lot.
Yep.
However, so this is kind of a beginner course, so it's freshmen and sophomores pretty much. And the difference between freshmen and sophomores and seniors is a lot. A lot.
So how so? Attention span? Is it dialing in and really? Well, you can tell who's listening and absorbing.
Think about it. First of all, it's the rules of the road.
Yeah.
So when you're a freshman and sophomore, not so much. You don't know them, right? Like.
Yeah.
And when you're a senior, you're like, I know all the angles. I can play them. I can manipulate my teacher, professor, all those things.
Right.
Also, I think they're just a little bit more relaxed when they're seniors. They're uptight about other things like adulting and getting a real job.
Absolutely.
However, that's really my forte is helping them with that.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. It's only 3 classes in to the freshman sophomore big lecture hall. 40 students are easier. I feel bad though in a way for them because they really haven't been taught how to think and how to make decisions.
That was just my next question. How are they equipped? I remember when our girls went to school, and it was a function of can they handle the curriculum, but it wasn't. It was just about curriculum.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are still curriculum based.
Uh-huh.
But with AI and all the things that we've been talking about, all the new tools and technology, I think you have to figure out how do you do the other things? How do you communicate with someone? How do you, when you ask them what they want from you, at the beginning of the class I didn't bring my list, but it's how to resolve conflicts, how to deal with a difficult conversation, how to say no without feeling bad about saying no, how to disagree without being rude, how to feel confident about speaking out loud. Like if they came here in the show, they would be, shaking. They shake. You call on them and they're like this.
Really?
Literally. Oh my goodness.
Mr. Negroni, I'm not sure.
Well, the fear of public speaking is worse than death for some
And they're
people.
not the age-old,
We called them helium hands back in the day.
All right.
There are no they're helium hands. There are the,
right,
the butt kissers, if you will, Professor,
How is in your make a decision sort of takeaway this year, how do you connoiter in a negotiative situation who you're dealing with, just like you'd have to figure out who you're working with, right? I mean, you have to assess.
But what do you think is the best tool to do that? I mean, I have my view of the best view to be able to figure out who's across the table from you. Number one is to listen really intently. Maybe that's number 2. Number 1 is to ask really good, insightful, deep questions about how do you feel, what makes you think that, not why. You ask someone why and they're like, why? That's like, but you ask them, what about that makes you feel that way? Or what in this instance makes you feel you're right about this particular thing? And so the power of the question is super, super powerful, and I think more and more powerful even with AI.
If you were to predict one driver, if we were in the year 2000, the driver would have been the internet, right? Year 2000 would have been websites, Netscape, so on and so forth. What is the driver going to be AI? Is that really it?
Personalized chat AI colleague. I mean, I've got my AI trained to say, do an email in Dan style, which is, and I've given it the list of what I want to be Dan style, which is completely other focused, completely about the person, completely about providing value, bold, action oriented, let's get this, let's do this, and kind of like a cheerleader. And so when my emails come out, my wife's like, how come my chat comes out so much worse than yours? But that's the secret. How do I figure that out?
And as I'm looking at some of the notes from what we did with Marley, I can't wait for Mary to come back so we can continue that. I guess my question for you is, as you're watching these guys go through the arc of their freshman to senior story, is are they? At what point do they get it? Because I'm trying to figure out if you're dealing with an employee they better get it now. If you're dealing with a student, though, you have a little more patience with it.
Well, I think it's like employees. Everyone goes at their own pace, right? And it just depends who you are and how you come at them, right? Like, we're a lot. The three of us would be a lot for anyone, right? Together, forget it. But
absolutely.
Individually, we have personalities that are strong, and that, for some people, that's like, no, oil and water.
How much does the big bad world after school scare them? Because when we were in college, it was like, hey, go to college and then either go get a job or you went to law school, blah, 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 and it was kind of decided for you, You march forward.
I think so much opportunity scares them more. It's like, what do I choose?
Right.
And at the same rate, like so much technology and so much choice allows such a variety. So your 20s can just be figure it out.
Totally.
You don't have to pick a law school. But I do think if you pick law school or engineering or those things, those kids, the other kids seem to like, why can't I just have it like them? Why can't I just pick and make some money and figure it out? But I think they're super concerned about lifestyle. It's very hard, very expensive.
Well, it's usable days. Remember, we used to go to, our parents worked till they were 65 and went on the cruise. Now it's about usable days during work.
Yeah.
Right.
That's got to be different.
Usable
Dan, thank
minutes.
you so much. I appreciate it.
Dan Negroni, Chasing Relevance is his book. Grandpa, professor, launcher, CEO, coach, he does it all. He makes our show better too. Oh yeah. Short corduroy shorts and a Hawaiian shirt. Woo! Little Mac PI from the day trader Quattro. Back here at the Mars Casa, and it is sullen.
That's right. We are in hundreds of millions. That's true. That's close to 100 million TV homes nationwide.
That's right.
American Forces Network, BizTV, and the like. Thank you so much for joining us. BigBizShow.com. Every so often, we get someone that tells us about a author or an actor or a product or service or even a publicly traded company. In this case, it is a company called Allerity Therapeutics. And their ticker symbol is ALLR. Who do we have here?
Thomas Jensen is the CEO of the aforementioned Allerity Therapeutics. Of course, you said it already, ticker symbol ALLR, and he joins us here on the Big Biz Show. Thomas, thank you so much for making time for us today. How are you, sir?
Doing well, thank you, and thanks for having me on.
Talk about what Allarity's prime focus is here, because obviously we broadcast out of San Diego, but we're nationwide and we're international, and we're radio and television, but we're in a city here that's mindful of biotechnology and biopharma. The word targeted therapy is all over, and we see your website, and you are right in the middle of the cancer space. Talk about Allerity a little bit.
Yeah, happy to. Our spearhead is our drug called Stenoparib, which is a dual inhibitor of PARP and tankerase Wnt pathway. That is a molecule we licensed from AEye, but we founded the company back in 2004. My then professor and myself, and we had an idea that we could develop a drug response predictor based on messenger RNA, where we would be able to screen biopsies from cancer patients, and based on looking at a lot of the gene expression inside the tumor, we should be able to predict which cancer patients would benefit from certain therapies. So that's what we are using to select patients to our ongoing trial what we have been using in our oncology program for late stage metastatic ovarian cancer patients.
So are you currently in patient enrollment right now?
Yes, we are in phase 2. We announced earlier in 2024 in May 24 that we had then a phase 2 program also in metastatic ovarian cancer. But we saw tremendous benefit for the patients, so we decided we would amend the trial and add more precision to a more narrow defined patient population, which is what we've been doing. And early this year we announced how that trial would look, and we are enrolling patients now. But even though we amended the trial and did not enroll more patients in the in the previous trial, we still have patients on treatment from the previous trial, and a few of the patients have been on treatment now for more than 22 months, which is quite amazing, considered that their expected lifespan would not be much more than 3 to 4 months when they entered our trial.
Thomas Jensen, CEO, Allarity Therapeutics, their ticker symbol ALLR. Thomas, when you came on as the CEO of this company, how big were the changes that you instituted, or were there just small tweaks here and there?
So that's a good question. I was only partially involved in the company after we listed in the US, which we did in December 21, but in December 2023, I took over as CEO, and we had several challenges. We had a very large debt. We had less than 100,000 in the books. We had 2 NASDAQ deficiencies. We spent $1.4 million a month, and besides common stock, we had Series A preferred and Series B preferred stock, both with reset provisions, and we had a few different warrant.
You had to clean up the cap table on day one.
Yes, exactly. So the following year and a half, what we did was we raised $50 million without any discount, and also we cleaned up, so we now only have common stock outstanding, no more Series A, Series B preferred, or any warrants. Well, we have warrants, but they're at a very high strike price, and it's only a handful of warrants, so we don't really count them as anything.
Thomas, not to interrupt, what kind of war chest, what kind of runway do you have to get through FDA? Because obviously that arc of that story through phase 2 going to phase 3 is going to take some money. Are you guys pretty well healed for right now to get through what you need to get through?
So we have money into 2027 as we sit now. That will not be enough to have a fully matured data set on all 40 patients we expect to enroll, but we will have a good chunk of data.
What is the addressable market here in terms of what this therapy is after?
So for Stenoparib in ovarian cancer, the addressable market there is $9 billion.
Jeez.
And for you, being a novel drug, what are we looking forward to most in the next 18 months in terms of this phase 2?
So meaningful, we expect to see the same extended life benefit as we saw in the previous patient population before we defined it more narrowly. What we're also expecting is, based on the data we have, we were also invited by the VA administration to participate in their small cell lung cancer trial, where this will be combined with temozolomide, and we expect that to take off anytime very soon. The basis for this is that there are very few options for small cell lung cancer patients. Previously, there has been good data with combining temozolomide with PARP inhibitors, but temozolomide is toxic, and the first generation PARP inhibitors have also been very toxic. So you're stacking toxicity on toxicity, which is not good for these patients. But our molecule is we don't see that tox at all. On the contrary, so by combining temozolomide with our drug, the hope is that we will prevent a lot of this tox. But also to the benefit for patients on the first generation PARPs together with temozolomide was very good, but it was just extremely toxic. So we expect to see very good data with much less toxicity.
We need to spend an hour with you.
Thomas, you have to.
We need to get you in studio as well, Thomas.
Promise that you're going to come back on our show. Thomas Jensen, CEO, Allerity Therapeutics, their ticker symbol ALLR. Thomas, we hope to have you again soon. All right, and that will do it for this edition of the Big Biz Show. As always, we appreciate you for tagging along for this crazy ride. We will see you next time.
See you tomorrow.